What if the old pistol in your safe could pay off your rent, cover your next vacation, or even put a dent in your mortgage? Right now, some handguns are exploding in value, turning quiet collections into gold mines. And the crazy part? Most owners don't even realize what they've got until it's too late. This is Guns with Rex Dalton, and today we're counting down 12 pistols that could make you rich, ranked by rising market demand, historical value, and collector heat. Let's get started. Number 12. Colt Woodsman Match Target 3rd Series. The Colt Woodsman isn't your average rimfire pistol, and if you've got the Match Target variant, especially one made during the 3rd Series in the 1960s and early 70s, you might want to take a closer look, because collectors definitely are. Chambered in .22 LR, this pistol was purpose-built for precision shooting. It comes with a heavy 6-inch barrel, adjustable target sights, and a distinctive thumb rest on the grip that makes it stand out instantly. It's light at around 28 ounces, yet balances perfectly for bullseye shooters. The trigger is where the Woodsman really shines. Crisp, light, and consistent right out of the box. Back then, this was a high-end .22 for serious marksmen. Now it's becoming a collector's centerpiece. Prices for clean, original examples with factory-checkered walnut grips and original boxes are hovering between $1,200 and $1,800. Rarer configurations and pristine specimens are selling for even more at auction. Colt stopped production decades ago, and the craftsmanship is simply no longer being replicated. So if one's been sitting in your family's collection, it might be time to dust it off and see what the market says. Number 11. Beretta 8000 Cougar Original Models. The Cougar was introduced in the mid-90s and chambered in 9mm, 40 S&W, and even 45 ACP in rare cases. It featured a 3.6-inch barrel and a double-action Jericho single-action trigger with a manual safety decocker combo. But the star of the show was that rotating barrel designed to reduce felt recoil and improve durability. Beretta later moved the same system into their PX4 line, but it all started right here. Weighing around 32 ounces unloaded, the original 8000 felt robust in the hand. It came with 10 to 15 round mags, depending on caliber, and its all-metal construction gave it a premium feel compared to today's polymer-heavy options. While they didn't sell in huge numbers, those who shot them rarely let go. Now that Beretta has long stopped producing the originals, prices are creeping up. Clean first-run models are selling between $700 and $1,100. More if you've got box, papers, or one of the rarer 357 SIG variants. Collectors are catching on fast, and these Cougars aren't staying caged for long. Number 10. Norinco 213, Type 54 and 9mm. The Norinco Model 213 is a Chinese-made version of the Soviet Tokarev, but chambered in 9mm instead of the original 7.62 by 25. And while these were once sold for next to nothing, prices have doubled and in some cases tripled in just a few years. The 213 has a 4.6-inch barrel, single-action trigger, and an 8-round magazine. At 32 ounces unloaded, it feels solid but not excessive. It uses a Browning-style tilting barrel system, and while the ergonomics are bare bones, the rugged simplicity is part of its charm. It also features a thumb safety added for import purposes, something the original Russian Tokarevs lacked. Its value spike comes down to two things: the 1990s import ban and growing demand for Cold War-era surplus. What once sold for $200 is now pushing $800 in good condition, with matching numbers and original grips driving up prices even more. It's basic, it's tough, and it's no longer easy to find, which is exactly why prices keep climbing. Number 9. Walther P5. The Walther P5 might not have the Hollywood fame of the PPK, but collectors know its value is rising, and fast. Developed in the late 1970s as a law enforcement replacement for the aging P38, the P5 kept the same unique falling locking block system, but wrapped it in a sleeker, more compact package. Chambered in 9mm, it features a 3.5-inch barrel, a true double-action, Josh single-action trigger, and an 8-round magazine. But what really makes it different is the ejection port. It's on the left side of the slide, an unusual design choice aimed at reducing brass spray during close-quarter shooting. Built like a tank and famously reliable, the P5 saw service with German police, Dutch military, and a handful of elite units. It weighs around 28 ounces unloaded, and its fit and finish are classic Walther, crisp machining, deep bluing, and tight tolerances. Production ended in the 90s and hasn't returned. Today, clean P5s are selling for $1,200 to $1,600, while compacts and commemoratives are clearing $2,000. It's a piece of Cold War firearms engineering that's only going one way in value: up. Number 8, Glock 19 Gen 5 MOS. Once the go-to duty gun for police across America, the Smith & Wesson Model 5906 is now gaining attention as a collectible, not for rarity, but because it marked the end of an era. Built in the late 80s and through the 90s, the 5906 is a full-size 9mm pistol with a 4-inch barrel, 15-round magazine, and a stainless steel frame that tips the scales at just over 38 ounces. It's a double-action or single-action design with a slide-mounted safety or decocker, Novak sights, and a reputation for being overbuilt in all the best ways. This thing was made for abuse. Agencies ran them hard, and they just kept going. The full steel frame soaks up recoil, and the smooth trigger pull makes it a joy to shoot. It's also one of the last American-made pistols to come from a time when duty guns were built like revolvers. Solid, reliable, and meant to last decades. Once a $350 workhorse, clean examples now sell for $800 to $1,200, with agency-marked trade-ins bringing even more. If you've got one that hasn't been beat to hell, hold on tight. It's gaining steam. Number 7, FN 509 Tactical. At first glance, the FN Model 1910 might look like an old pocket pistol from a forgotten war, but this little 32 or 380 auto has serious historical weight, and collectors are paying top dollar for clean, original pieces. Designed by John Browning, this 32 or 380 ACP blowback pistol was compact, reliable, and widely used across Europe. Most famously, it was the gun used in the 1914 assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, the spark that ignited World War I. It features a 3.5-inch barrel, 7-round mag, and fixed barrel design. At just under 24 ounces, it's soft shooting and remarkably well built for its age. Elegant blued finishes and Fabrique Nationale roll marks only add to the appeal. Clean early models are now selling for $1,000 and up, with wartime variants and matching sets topping $1,500. It's a piece of world history that's climbing in value fast. Number 6, Caesar 75 Pre-B early models. If you've got an early Caesar 75 without the firing pin block, what collectors call the Pre-B models, you might be holding on to one of the most underappreciated moneymakers in the handgun world. Released in 1975 out of Czechoslovakia, the original CZ-75 combined Western double-stack capacity with Eastern Bloc durability. Chambered in 9mm with a 4.7-inch barrel and 15-round magazine, it offered an all-steel frame, excellent ergonomics, and a buttery smooth double-action or single-action trigger. At about 35 ounces unloaded, it balances like a competition pistol, but runs like a military sidearm. What makes the Pre-B so valuable now is that early models weren't widely imported into the US due to Cold War restrictions. Many were smuggled in, gifted between collectors, or brought over in pieces. The markings, internal parts, and slide profile are all different from modern production, and that's exactly what collectors want. Today, these early CZs are crossing the $1,000 mark, with rare short rail versions and early serial numbers selling for well over $1,500. Original finish, matching mags, and even factory grips can push the value higher. Number 5. SIG Sauer P320A XG Legion. The SIG P220 in 45 ACP was built to work, not to show off. But the West German-made models? Those are a different story. They're becoming some of the most desirable 45s on the used market, and values are rising faster than most owners realize. Introduced in the late 1970s, it came with a 4.4-inch barrel, 8-round mag, and a lightweight alloy frame weighing just under 31 ounces. Known for its smooth DA/SA trigger and top-tier accuracy, the P220 earned a reputation for reliability that still holds up today. What makes the W German version special is the craftsmanship. Built in SIG's Neuhausen plant, these early imports featured hand-fit internals, phosphate-coated mags, and often came with test targets and blue SIG boxes. Prices have climbed fast. While standard P220s hover around $700, West German mark models in top condition are now selling for $1,200 to $1,600, more with original packaging and matching parts. It's a pistol that never needed flash to prove its value, just precision and consistency. Number 4. Heckler & Koch VP9 LOR. It's not modern, it doesn't shoot cartridges, and it wasn't even built for self-defense. But the Ruger Old Army is exploding in value anyway, and collectors can't get enough of them. This black powder percussion revolver was introduced in 1972 and stayed in production until 2008. Chambered for loose .44 caliber ball and black powder, it was built on the same solid frame as Ruger's Vaquero and Blackhawk series. Stainless or blued, with barrel lengths ranging from 5.5 to 7.5 inches, these wheel guns are known for their toughness, precision, and almost absurd level of over-engineering. What made the Old Army special then is what makes it a collector's favorite now. It wasn't historically accurate, it was better. Ruger used modern materials and manufacturing to create a cap-and-ball revolver that could run harder, shoot cleaner, and last longer than any reproduction. Shooters loved them, but black powder has always been a niche, which kept production numbers low. These days, finding a clean Old Army is getting harder. Prices have jumped fast. What used to go for $400 is now reaching $1,200, and limited models like stainless versions with adjustable sights are climbing even higher. It's one of the few black powder guns that collectors are treating like gold. And for good reason. You won't find another like it on store shelves today or ever again. Number 3. Staccato CS. Originally built for military use, the IMI Jericho 941 has quietly become one of the most collectible steel frame pistols to come out of Israel, especially the early imports that still carry the original markings. Released in the early 1990s, the Jericho 941 was based on the CZ75 design, but with a few rugged upgrades. It featured a full steel frame, a 3.8 or 4.4-inch barrel depending on the variant, and options for 9mm or 41 AE, a now discontinued caliber that was supposed to be the next big thing in defensive handguns. The idea was simple: switch out the barrel and mag to jump between calibers. That flexibility didn't take off, but the pistol's durability did. Weighing close to 38 ounces unloaded, the Jericho has a commanding presence in the hand. It slide rides inside the frame like the CZ, creating tighter lockup and a lower bore axis for better control. The double action or single action trigger, manual safety, and steel construction make it feel more like a duty-grade tank than a civilian pistol. Collectors are drawn to the early Israeli military and police surplus models, especially ones marked with IMI before production shifted to IWI. Prices for those are now hovering around $800 to $1,200, depending on condition. Add value if it comes with the original box, mag loader, or cleaning kit. It's a Cold War warrior with roots in real-world service and the kind of old-school craftsmanship you don't see anymore. Number 2, Koenig T P9 Elite Combat. It's sleek, it's small, and it's nearly 120 years old. The Colt 1903 Pocket Hammerless might not look like a big-money pistol at first glance, but for collectors it's become one of the most desirable early semi-autos on the market. Designed by John Browning and produced from 1903 to 1945, this compact .32 ACP handgun was way ahead of its time. Despite the name, it's not truly hammerless. The hammer is just hidden inside the frame. It features a 3.75-inch barrel, 8-round magazine, grip safety, and fixed sights. At 24 ounces, it was considered incredibly light and concealable in its day. What makes the 1903 special now is its pedigree. These were carried by generals, spies, and even presidents. General Patton had one. So did Eisenhower. And during World War II, the U.S. military issued special runs to OSS agents and high-ranking officers, complete with engraved slides and presentation boxes. Values vary based on condition and history, but they've jumped fast in recent years. Standard models in good shape bring $900 to $1,400. Military contract pistols and early serial numbers can cross $2,000. And those ultra-rare presentation models, they've hit 5 figures at auction. Number 1, Shadow Systems MR92. Built for raw power and futuristic flair, the Automag Model 180 is one of the wildest pistols ever made, and now it's become a collector's dream with a price tag to match. Chambered in .44 AMP Automag pistol, this stainless steel beast was introduced in the early 1970s as a Magnum-powered semi-auto designed to rival revolvers in both power and style. It features a massive 6.5-inch barrel, rotating bolt system, and a hefty frame that tips the scales at over 50 ounces unloaded. The design was heavily inspired by the M1911, but everything about the Automag is oversized and overbuilt. The production story is part of its legend. Manufacturing was expensive, unreliable, and chaotic. The original Pasadena-made guns were only produced for a few years before the company folded. That short production run, combined with the gun's appearance in movies like Sudden Impact with Clint Eastwood, turned it into a cult icon. Collectors are chasing the Pasadena-marked originals the hardest. Those early run models in clean condition are now fetching $3,000 to $5,000, and sometimes more for boxed guns or rare variants. Later production runs by TDE, North Hollywood, or El Monte still hold value, but it's the early guns that bring top dollar. It's loud, it's impractical, and it's absolutely unforgettable. The Automag wasn't built for the masses, and that's exactly why it's making people rich today. That wraps up our countdown of the 12 pistols that could quietly be making you rich. Handguns that are rising in value while most shooters overlook them. Some of these might already be sitting in your safe, while others are still out there, just waiting to be rediscovered before collectors drive the prices even higher. But spotting the right investment pistol goes beyond rarity or design. It's about understanding what truly holds value in the long run. Subscribe to Guns with Rex Dalton for more breakdowns of the firearms that earn your trust and your investment. Stay sharp, and I'll see you in the next one.